lockdown, I've been to a number of places throughout history without leaving the slight discomfort of my cheap gaming chair. I feel these virtual holidays are the perfect way to satisfy any unrequited wanderlust. Recently, I travelled to Versailles circa 1685, thanks to a little game by Cryo Interactive Entertainment. Hailing from 1996, Versailles 1685, A Game of Intrigue, marks the first in a series of historical adventure games with an educational bent. Cryo's development team created their own in-house engine, aptly named Omni 3D. It allows locations to be explored through 360-degree nodes, each containing a number of interactable items. While certainly dated now, it was quite the immersive experience back then.
The king's rising from bed ceremony ended with his ablutions. Before the eyes of the courtiers admitted among the first entrants, the barber groomed his majesty before putting on his shawl.
The game takes place during the reign of Louis XIV. Monsieur Bontemps, the first valet of the chamber to the king, has uncovered a conspiracy to tear down the beautiful and newly built palace of Versailles.
Oh, I see you're making progress. Very good.
Being in charge of security and royal secrets, he tasks one of his underlings, you, with uncovering the plot and thwart the would-be terrorist. Over the course of a single day, through 8 chapters, you play as Lalonde, as he explores the impressively ornate palace looking for clues. These come in the form of pamphlets, parchments, or papers detailing cryptic messages hidden in otherwise innocuous documents. One such clue is the old lemon writing trick, where you hold it up to a candle to reveal the message. Another is hidden among a sheet of music, though you'll need to ask the composer for help to decipher it.
The task is more arduous than I thought at first. I shall need more time.
Sadly, that's pretty much how the game progresses. Any otherwise interesting brain teasers are passed on to other characters to solve. This is doubly frustrating considering a fairly extensive encyclopedia is also included. Why hand over a portfolio of sketches to a random Frenchman to find which one is the odd one out, when it'll be likely much more fun to figure it out yourself?
Sketches? Interesting. By whom?
As such, the game has a use everything on everything design that is simply boring. Surely, if I wanted to know about the past in such a fashion, I would have stayed awake during history class. To make matters worse, the promised intrigue of the title isn't all that intriguing either. It's as if this anachronistic story is secondary to the humdrum events of history. There may be a bomb hidden somewhere in the palace, but each chapter begins with a cutscene that entails nothing but the king's daily routine, with a scholarly narrator doing his best to sound uninterested.
During the mass, the officers of the royal kitchen, roasters, bakers, and their assistants were busy preparing the dinner. The food not eaten by the sovereign, whose appetite was legendary, would feed others, and ordinary people did not disdain to purchase leftovers from the kitchens.
So there's little incentive for anyone to play Versailles from either a gameplay, a story, or an educational standpoint. So how about as a virtual tour of a historical location? While I was sucked in by the immersive grandeur of it all, I do have some reservations. Each chapter limits you to a small area with many doors locked, blocked, or simply unclickable. I know the palace contains a lot of fake doors, but I'm talking about the real ones here. There are even some rooms that are just simply ignored as you walk past them to reach the area the game wants you to get to. Being in the first person, you do get a pretty good view of the pre-rendered rooms, well, the ones you're actually allowed to see. Each room has one or more nodes in which you have a complete 360-degree view of your surroundings. It makes for an immersive experience, even if the technology has dated quite a bit by today's standards. In a nice touch, each node is linked with a fully animated transition that adds to the sense of location you might not have had if they went with a still photo route. There are a number of clickable points in each node, including close-ups of around 2,000 works of art and paintings, though most of them are simply links to the in-game wiki page. All NPCs have their own page too, whether it be a specific person or simply the job that they represent. It took me a while to realise you could actually talk to some of them too. Hovering the cursor over the body will change it into a question mark, which means you can read more about them in the encyclopedia. Aim it a little higher to the head though, and it will turn into a mouth, or even an ear. And this means you can either talk to them or eavesdrop on their conversation.
Well, sir, what do you want?
Either way, the camera will shift to a close-up view that truly displays how bad the character models are. Being 1996, the use of CGI was still somewhat new, but even so, I think they could have made the French aristocracy look a little less like pompously dressed potatoes. So, Versailles 1685 doesn't bode well for the future visits to Cryo series, which would go on to feature Egypt, China and Jerusalem up until the company's closure in 2002. The only thing I enjoyed about it was the location itself, and that alone was probably the reason why it was a financial success, garnering re-releases on the PlayStation and a PC DVD version over the next few years. Even taking all this into account, in my opinion, I don't think it's particularly worth it. Okay, thank you for joining me in this trip to the court of King Louis XIV. If you fancy taking a visit there yourself, please follow the link below to find out how to get it working on Windows 10. Please like, share, subscribe and ring that bell to keep you posted on any new videos we put out. And with that, I'll see you next time on the Collection Chamber.